Yeah, and always it's fine to not have your screen on if you prefer not to. And also when it comes to the meditation, I think it's best if you orient yourself so you're not looking into the computer for meditation. That's more, I find it more helpful. I sort of have to do it because so that you can hear me, but yeah, best not. So I thought I'd just say a few words this morning about right attitude. The right attitude to experience, the right attitude to being aware. So it's defined as a helpful attitude to supporting awareness, to supporting us being able to be with experiences, whatever they are. And in this practice, of course, we have the potential to be aware of whatever is happening, whatever we experience. And some of the things can seem quite extreme, some deep experiences of grief or rage or strong emotions can be very difficult to be with, but there is that potential with awareness. The more we practice, the more we can in a way take on those more challenging objects. Though in meditation, often what we find it's a dullness of mind, or a mind that wants to think all the time, or maybe there's some sadness or doubt. I've been thinking more and more about the doubting mind and the role that or the undermining role that can have in practice if we're not aware of it. When we're aware of any of these things with the right attitude, there's that sense of openness or curiousness about what's happening, rather than it being, oh no, I wish this wasn't happening, I wish something else was happening. So there's an acceptance of what's happening. So when there's right attitude in the mind, that's great. That's great. And what's that like? What's it like to feel, if you like, the quality of the awareness and an object that maybe, what happens to the object in those times when the quality of awareness is consistently sort of open? And then there'll be other times where perhaps we check, we say, is there right attitude in the mind? And the answer is no, no. And it's good to be really clear about that. It's not a problem, it's not a fault, but it's something to be very clear about. And notice what's happening then. One of the ways that I would describe what's happening is that the awareness or the mind gets colored by the mind state. So we can use mind awareness as synonymous in this instant, but the overall quality of the mind, the quality of awareness gets colored by the mind state, by dullness, by sadness, by irritation, whatever it is. And so the potential with right attitude is seeing really clearly how the mind, the awareness mind, and the mind state or the mind object are not the same. The knowing of something does not have to have the same flavor as what is being known. That's another way of putting the same thing. So the mind, yeah, can be quite dull, but the awareness, knowing it, can be have a very calm, sort of open, non-reactive quality to it. So one of the ways I put it, and this can, of course, be applied to physical pain. And so when I've got the pain of a morning migraine or something, I might ask, is the mind joining in? Okay, so there's physical pain, but is the mind just joining right in there as well? because that's not necessary. It may be what's happening, but it's not necessary. It's a little quote from Sayadaw U Tejaniya I came across recently. He says, pain is not the problem. The problem is your attitude to the pain, your attitude to what's happening. And I've said things like this myself many times, and I've heard it many times, but for some reason this made quite an impact on my practice. So the pain is not the problem, it's really not the problem. The problem is simply the attitude that one has towards that pain, or that tricky mind state, or that low energy. So if you like, the attitude, the right attitude is where we have some agency. It's where we're able to take responsibility. We have some influence over what's happening. So we can work by just checking the quality of, checking the attitude, checking what it's like. Remind ourselves of the qualities of right attitude. Okay, so there's a patience, there's an acceptance of what's happening. Sometimes it's not because we don't want to accept it, it's because we forget. We just forget, oh, the possibility is here of relating differently to this experience. The mind doesn't have to join in. It may have the habit of going along with and being colored by the mind state, but that's not always necessary. So we can feel into the object. We can feel into whatever it is, being curious about that low mood, or that dullness, or agitated mind state. And we can become more and more clear about the difference, if you like, between a mind state that's temporary and a quality of awareness that can have a lot of consistency to it. In a way, that's one of the things we're looking to do in the practice, is build a consistent quality of awareness that through its qualities, its own qualities, interest and openness, it's able to be with a whole range of experience in this non-reactive way. So I'll leave it there for now, and take that into the practice. Stop the recording.